So, Sword and Shield has been out for a month now, and I've gotta say, having not actually played the game, I'm not at all qualified to speak on the gameplay, design choices, animation, or story, but I'm really digging some of these new Pokemon designs. You've got your baby launching undead B2 bomber Diplicalis, emotionally abusive Area 51 wig snatching waifu, Stonehenge, and the only full line of grass dragon Pokemon that are fucking apples. I'm not salty. Or should I say, I'm not sour. Joking aside, these are some of the most, inspired Pokemon designs we've seen in a while. But there's one thing that's been bugging me. Or rather, 4 things. What the fuck are these new fossil Pokemon? Look at these Skylander swap force ass motherfuckers. I don't know who authorized these at Game Freak, but I guess they just got tired of creating cohesive fossil Pokemon designs. Yeah, let's just let the player play mix and match with the petrified remains of these living organisms, and then resurrect them for gladiatorial combat. What could possibly go wrong? Fossil Fighters moment. Fossil Fighters moment. Now I hear your disembodied voices coming to Game Freak's defense. Like a bunch of fucking simps. But Element Freak, they were just paying homage to the history of paleontology. Don't you know the origin behind these Pokemon? Of course I do. Dinosaurs are my bread and butter milkery, and I'm on that shit. Don't you ever fucking doubt me. So, back in the early days of paleontology, the boner societies were busy digging up bodies from the ground as fast as they could, to cash in on this new dinosaur craze. However, they still didn't exactly know what the fuck they were doing. To be fair, we really still don't. Take the Elasmosaurus. American paleontologist Edward Drinker Cope first described Elasmosaurus platyurus in 1868, reconstructing the perplexing plesiosaur with a super long, massive, throbbing, flexible tail, and an admittedly underwhelming neck. Turns out, he had done an oopsie and mixed up where the head went. Of course, he didn't really care, being in the midst of the Bone Wars, a major event in the course of paleontology where paleontologists behaved extremely unprofessionally and destroyed priceless fossils in order to be dicks to one another, committing terrible acts that tragically eradicated untold, unique, one-of-a-kind discoveries, hiding that knowledge from the world forever. All for some quick cash. We can see this reflected in Dracovish, which has his head on the end of what is obviously a tail. But that's not the only case of misplaced noggins. Oh no. Othniel Charles Marsh, the other party of the Bone Wars, was presenting a reconstruction of Apatosaurus, another lengthy-necked fellow, but oh no! He didn't have a head for the poor thing. So Mr. Lack of professional principles and procedures just took the head of a Camarasaurus, slapped it on there, and called it a day. Actually, he called it a Brontosaurus, but that doesn't matter. He presented this new species, thinking that no one would know the difference, but we did know the difference. Brontosaurus isn't a thing. Well, actually, it's a thing, but it's a different thing. A similar thing, but a different thing. Back to Pokemon. So, we can pretty easily see how all of this skull swapping has influenced the unorthodox layouts of the newest fossil Pokemon. I'll give it to Game Freak. There's quite a bit of depth to these designs, and I appreciate them going out of their comfort zone to try something new. But none of that excuses what they did to these poor creatures! A little bit of creative reconstruction may be fine and dandy when you're just playing around with inanimate bones, but it's another thing entirely to bring that Frankensteinian monstrosity to life. These are living, breathing organisms with delicate anatomies and vastly different body plans, separated by millions of years of evolutionary complexities. You can't just mash a fish and a reptile together and expect it to function. Look at Arctivolt! It's shivering! It's obvious that this body plan just doesn't work for it! Dracovish can't even breathe on land! I don't know who this Caralis thinks she is. It's already enough to play God by bringing these creatures back from the dead. The least you could do is try not to disrespect Arceus anymore by reviving them properly. These were actual Pokemon with actual bodies. You wouldn't just put Kabutop's torso on Aerodactyl's legs. That would be weird. Which is another thing that irks me. We got 4 new, separate lines of fossil Pokemon this generation. That's unprecedented. And as both a dinosaur and Pokemon enthusiast, I'm fucking railed that this is what that ended up being. Instead of whatever the fuck this thing is, we could have had a Velociraptor, a Dunkleosteus, a Stegosaur, and a Mosasaur something or other. All in the same generation. You see this? They took this from you. They took this from you. They almost got it close with Arctovish, but nope. His head is on upside down. How did you manage that? You had one job. I can't believe how badly you fucked up. This is animal cruelty and paleontological malfeasance, and I will not stand for it. They can take my Rampardos. They can take my Torterra. They can even take my Sceptile. But I draw the line when I am withheld the fossil Pokemon that I deserve. Sincerely, from one freak to another, Game Freak, I am simply appalled. Mashing together contradictory elements all willy-nilly is my deal. So step off. But that's just my opinion. I'm free to express it, you're free to enjoy stuff, and we're free to disagree. My disappointment should have no bearing on that, so be civil in the comments section, you nitwits. In conclusion, Game Freak lied, give us the forbidden Fossilmon, reject modernity, embrace tradition. Deus Vult!